Good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? We will take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you once again for establishing this link between your civilization and our civilization. These communications are always an opportunity for our civilization to see through you many more ways that the infinite has of expressing itself, and thus it expands our understanding of creation. So we thank you for this gift. We would like to begin this dialogue with a little bit of an understanding of a level upon which our society exists and a level upon which your society is evolving toward. We sense that as more and more and more of you are beginning to explore the concepts of spirituality and consciousness and are getting in touch with the idea that you are far more than your physiological body and that your reality is composed of energy and vibration and frequency and light, you are beginning to tap into, become more sensitized to the notion that once you learn to harmonize or synchronize with another individual, you begin to experience more of what you call telepathy. You begin to know each other's thoughts. You find this more often than not in your society between individuals that you recognize to be in love. When individuals are that open, that allowing, that harmonized with each other as to express what you call being in love, they are then, as you say, on the same wavelength, on the same frequency. And you see quite often exhibited in individuals who are in love with each other, telepathy. They know exactly what each other is thinking at the same time. The idea of telepathy, again, as we have expressed it more accurately in your language, telempathy, is that not so much you are reading each other's minds. In fact, not at all. Telepathy is when you are, in fact, on the same wavelength, operating at the same frequency of energy, and interpreting reality in the same way at the same time, having the same thoughts simultaneously, concurrently, not actually extracting them from each other, simply operating as congruent or tandem receivers or antennae. So the more that you are willing to express that unconditional love, that allowance, the more you are willing to flow, as you say, to dance with each other in acceptance, the more you will open up to the realization that you can know exactly what another individual is feeling, is thinking, is pondering simultaneously. And you can begin to experience much more orchestration, much more synchronicity in your reality, rather than many of the difficulties that many of you now experience in communication when you are limited to the usage of your linguistics. The idea, if you will ponder it for a moment, of a fully telepathic society as ours has become, I ask you this then, imagine, if you will, imagine such a society, such as yours will be one day, for we sense that's where you're heading eventually. First thing you realize is that a fully telepathic society is very quiet. Very quiet. You see hundreds, thousands of people strolling around, milling around, not a sound. Maybe a smile here and there, but not a sound. If there are buildings, there are no signs. Everything is smooth. Everyone knows exactly what is in any structure. There is no need to advertise it, as you do on your planet. For we are locked in an embrace, a telepathic embrace, wherein we know what we need to know when we need to know it. Nothing is hidden from us. There are no secrets in a telepathic society. Everyone can feel, either individually or together, anything they wish, can know anything they wish within that society, if it is, as you say, pertinent or germane to allowing them to be who they are. everyone is completely supported in doing everything that they choose to do that is representative of their personal growth, their joy, their excitement. It isn't that you hear words in your head. You have to have a language before telepathy is experienced as words in your head. Telepathy is just a knowingness. You just suddenly, absolutely, and totally know what the other person is all about, what they mean to communicate. You just know. You just, as you say in your language, suddenly get it. The idea is that you don't hear words at all. You feel. You feel. You feel. You constantly feel. You sense. And you know. You are assured in the same way that you might suddenly remember something you forgot. It is similar to that. You just all of a sudden have an experience, and you know that it comes from someone else. And that is the communication. And everyone is functioning in harmony in that way. It is not an anarchy. It is not confusing. Because when each and every being is being their natural self, the way they were originally designed by creation to be, everything flows easily, effortlessly. There is no conflict. There can be, by definition, no conflict in everyone who is functioning in the natural way they were originally designed to be. Because in the original design, everything fits. Everything works perfectly, harmoniously. The only time you find yourselves in conflict with each other is when you resist your natural self and attempt to impose upon each other ideas and structures and limitations that have absolutely nothing to do with your natural self. That is the difficulty, the pains, the struggles that many of you are experiencing on your planet as we have observed you. No, we are only telling you this because we scan and sense that there are enough changes going on in the collective consciousness of your world to indicate that you are in fact heading in a similar direction evolutionarily to the direction that my civilization has taken. But we are not here to tell you that this is what you must do. It's your world. We have our own lives. We don't need to live yours. We are very busy with our own. But we are here to reflect and share with you, by your invitation, ideas that have worked for us, so that if you decide they are workable for you, you can learn to apply them in your day-to-day physiological reality and gain the benefits that have been gained by us. It is up to you. We only reflect possibilities. They may sometimes be likely. They may at other times be unlikely. But we are here only to reflect in this dialogue possibilities for you to consider. It is simply our way of giving back to you the gift you are giving to us of allowing us to form a link and a new reality from us to you. In return for this gift, I ask you now, in what way at this time may we be of service to you? You may begin with sharing if you wish.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It's good to see you again.
You are not seeing me, but I understand what you mean.
Not physically. I understand what you were telling us a minute ago about the physical reality, our physical reality.
Yeah, I said, what about
yours. We have a lot of factors, I feel, that you don't have, or maybe perhaps don't understand, being a biological, physical being here. As far as I'm saying, there's a lot of pollution and a lot of negativity here because of that fact.
Yes, but who did that?
We did.
Yes.
But it's hard to turn that around to the point of being totally inspirational and...
May I remind you of something?
Yes.
That's a belief, not an absolute law of creation. We understand what you mean when you say it is difficult, and we are not telling you to do it in any other way other than the way you prefer to do it. However, when you say it is difficult to turn this around, that's just because that's the way you have been taught to believe.
I see.
And that's all there is to it. That's all it is. It's a perspective, it's a point of view, it's a belief. But I will tell you this, absolutely guaranteed. If you believe it, it's real. And thus it's difficult. But it's only difficult because you believe it. That's the paradox. There is no absoluteness to the concept of difficulty. Yes, your world is a world that experiences a great degree of limitation, yes. But only because you label the limitation as difficult to change do you experience it that way. Now, we are a physiological society as well. We have evolved, granted, differently than you. We have had different experiences than the experiences your species has had on your planet, granted. It is different, yes. At the same time, while we may not be having exactly the same experiences, we want you to also understand that we have done something. Those of us who have decided to communicate with your civilization, and we do this with every civilization we decide to communicate with, we have chosen to incarnate, to have lives on the worlds we will eventually communicate with. So, I have had a past life on your world. I know exactly what it's like. And from that perspective, and from this perspective now, I know you can change it. And I am not saying necessarily that it will be in the wink of an eye, for I understand you have the concept of time and space, and there are sometimes reasons for why things take time, and that there are processes, and that is all right too. But, and you don't have to believe me, it's up to you. From the experience of living on your world in a past incarnation, and from the point of view I now possess, I can say to you without a doubt, whether you believe it or not, the only reason it seems difficult to change is because you have been taught to believe in difficulty as being more natural than ease and effortlessness. Look at it this way, if I may stretch the analogy by an illustration for a moment. May I?
Yes.
Thank you. When you see two different kinds of stories, however they may be presented on your planet, book, film, as you say, in your technology, doesn't matter, and you see someone struggling and striving and having a very, very difficult time achieving any measure of happiness at all, you walk away from that story and say, oh, that was a very realistic story. When you hear a story where people's wishes come true and everyone lives happily ever after, you say, oh, what a fairy tale.
Yes, we do.
But you see, that's just how you've defined life. That's not the way life has to be. That's just the way you have been taught to believe it must be. That's all. It's the only difference. The only difference there is. Because all realities are generated by the strongest thing you believe is possible to be true. That's what your society is beginning to learn. You do create your reality from your beliefs. And it is your beliefs, and only your beliefs, that have allowed you to create the reality you now have that is full of pollution and apparent difficulty. It is only your fears and your doubts about yourselves that have allowed you to choose those kinds of self-destructive paths. That's all. If you change those fears, if you transform those doubts, you will be able to see how it can be done quickly, easily, joyfully. But you see, here is, as you say in your language, the catch-22. You have to believe it's possible for it to be easy before the opportunities that could make it easy will even be visible to you. You cannot perceive what you are not on the frequency of. So, if you believe in difficulty, the only scenario that is capable of being visible to you is one that presents difficulty. It is the third law of creation. What you put out is what you get back. And that goes for what you perceive as well. So if you put out the idea of cynicism or defeat, the only thing the physiological reality can do, because all it is a mirror, is reflect back to you only those paths that are representative of cynicism and defeat. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. That's our belief system and our social structure. That is our most downfall, you're saying.
Yes. It is an experience.
I see. Okay, what in my dream world, where I go quite a bit, and it's a different scenario altogether,
Yes.
and social structure, and what I'm dealing with and what we are accomplishing
Yes.
is a lot more. Could you give me elaborate or give me some idea why it's so much easier on the other side than it is in this life?
Because that is more accurately your natural self. You see, fundamentally, not meaning to confuse the semantics of your language, but just again to stretch the illustration. Fundamentally, you are actually more awake when you're dreaming, and in fact you're more asleep right now and dreaming when you think you're awake. Because the physical world is more limited. The dream world is where you are more expanded as a consciousness, more true to your origin, so to speak, as an expanded, aware being. And so you know in the dream world that more things are possible. It is only when you allow yourself to fall asleep and you dream the physical world, reality, that all of a sudden things become very difficult. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
So, the idea is, essentially, to understand that the way you create the physical dream is through the strongest definitions you have of it. So by getting in touch with the definitions you have been taught to believe describe your physiological dream and changing those definitions in the manner more akin to the way you would prefer them to be and more akin to the way you recognize them to be in the dream world you are calling the dream world, you will also see that your physiological world, maybe not exactly to the same degree, but to a much greater degree, will start to parallel the abilities you possess in the dream reality.
Well, that would be quite a bit.
Yes, it can be. It can be. It can be. You see, also there are many different ideas you have that hold you back. Surprisingly enough, many of you actually don't want to experience that much freedom. It scares you because of your definitions, because of your beliefs. And it scares you for a variety of reasons. We have even heard people on your planet say, I know I could allow myself to be that free and create my reality that effortlessly on that expanded level, but if I did that, everyone would think I was strange, and I would be an outcast. I wouldn't fit in. And so I hold myself back. There are a variety of reasons, probably just as many reasons as there are people on your planet, for why you only go so far, so fast. But I am simply telling you, you can go as fast and far as you really want to go. Anytime you find yourself being held back, it's because you have an idea that for some reason it's in your best interests to do so. You follow?
Yes, I do. So in my dream world, when I dream of scenarios that I should die and I don't, it's because of my expanded consciousness that I never lose contact with where I'm at.
That is one way to look at it, but again, dreams can be also many things. They can be, as many of you simply know, interpretations of experiences you have had in physiological reality. They can be symbolic reflections of different portions of your psychology or emotional makeup that perhaps you have suppressed into your subconscious or unconscious self. But they can also be real experiences in a real dimension that you interpret as a dream when you focus again in the physical world.
How do you tell the difference?
Sometimes you don't.
I see.
The idea is to just glean from it in every case whatever makes sense to you, or more precisely, whatever information, no matter what it represents, that can be applied in learning to understand yourself more fully and act as a more holistic being. That's how you use a dream, no matter what its origin.
No matter how puzzling it is.
No matter how puzzling, allow yourself to begin with the premise that no matter what it is you actually experience, it is still being recalled by your mind as a symbolic interpretation, and thus you can begin from the premise that everything in the dream is simply a variation of you. And if you understand it symbolically that way, you can begin in a variety of methodologies, such as, I am the blank in my dream, and what I want to tell myself is, and then see what your imagination comes up with. You will get answers if you do that in a quiet meditative state. You'll be able to learn how to interpret and talk to yourself on the dream side, and form a link and a bridge of communication between your physical self and your dream self, and you will eventually begin to realize there really doesn't have to be much of a difference between those two apparently discordant concepts. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. For some reason, I thought that's what you would say.
Well, how intuitive of you. We thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bashar.
And you good day.
With the team group that I facilitate, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions of some new avenues that we've been going into.
All right.
Knowing that all of us are multidimensional beings, and I want to help the kids realize this. A lot of them already realize this. Some of them can help a lot with the other ones. But I'll just give you a scenario. The last group meeting, the team group, was a real good-sized group of kids that what we did was we were doing a remote viewing. I had someone come in and teach the kids a remote view.
Understood. Okay.
Now, after listening to you with her last question, I think I find out it would have worked better had we gone into a meditation with the pictures that the kids had, and then let them see what was in it.
All right, but not better, just different.
It's different. Because there was a measure of good success, but it seemed the more that they did it, the worse the numbers were.
In that sense, most likely it is the phenomenology that you experience on your planet when individuals begin to try too hard.
Okay, I'll help them do it. All right,
the idea is to not have a goal in it, to not need to achieve it, just to be with it every moment as if it is new, for no other reason. For no other reason. Shall I repeat that? For no other reason other than it's fun to do.
Okay, I understand. Yes.
That is when you will have what you call the most success. When you don't have an agenda to have success is when you automatically succeed. You follow?
Mm-hmm.
When you do what you do because it's what you want to do, just because that's who you are, that's because that's what you feel like doing for no other reason, you automatically succeed because you don't have an expectational agenda that you are imposing upon it that places conditions and limitations that are difficult to allow manifestation to occur naturally along the path of least resistance.
Oh, I understand. That explains that. I will be continuing to bring in people. We're kind of calling it a master's lessons.
Oh, all right.
And just something, to call it.
If that is fun for you, by all means.
It is, because we all are masters. So I just need to learn how to remember that.
Oh, all right.
What I want to do, I'd like some suggestions on I've been thinking about bringing in people.
Suggestions about what?
About what kind of things would be the best for the student.
What happened to your imagination?
Well, it's there.
I
have several ideas. I just wondered if you had any.
I have lots of ideas. But why do you need mine when you're the one doing it?
Okay.
Do you not trust yourself?
Oh, yeah, you know that.
All right, then.
We've been working on this a few years. Okay. I will trust myself. And we'll
go
with this.
Thank you.
And then I guess that will answer the other question with the smaller
children.
Smell. Try smell.
Yes, try smell. Many times, if you evoke another sense, you will help distract.
It was true that we had home planets?
In a sense, yes, although everyone comes from everywhere and nowhere. And in a sense right now, obviously, your home planet is Earth.
Right.
But you do make connections to other systems of reality, and since everyone is a multidimensional being, you all have other existences in many other systems. it would be a matter of debate as to whether or not one is more of an origin than another, since time and space are arbitrary factors. But we understand that in different incarnations you may make different kinds of associations to some of the other existences you have that, based on the reason for the association, might make that connection appear to function symbolically as an origin point. But that's all that's happening.
So they're all an origin point?
Yes, since all points are one point.
All right, thank you.
Does that help?
Answers it specifically.
Thank you.
Goodbye, my friend.
And to you, good day.
How you been?
Perfect, and you?
Great. We've been doing the monatomics, and there are a couple of questions in regard to the monatomic goal.
All right, but before you ask them, we remind you once again, we have given your civilization now certain information regarding the monoatomic substances, that it is now up to you to do your research and your homework to answer many of the questions that you have. We will now reserve, as you say, the right to not answer many of those questions until your civilization has done more of its own work to understand that particular technology. So, ask your questions. We will tell you whether or not it is appropriate for us at this time to give you more information on this subject than we already have, or whether you should simply go about doing your own homework, as you say.
Well, I will continue my own homework.
We understand that. But you may need also to specifically concentrate on the questions you are asking us. We will see. Ask them.
Okay. With myself, the physicality.
Yes.
I didn't want to put any connotation on the monatomics because I've been doing them now for about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. And I have had some problems physically.
Define.
Stiffness in my legs with the arteries.
Yes.
And the cardiovascular system in general.
Yes. Do you mean since you have begun ingesting the monoatomic substances?
This I'm not really sure of. It seems to have come up after that. My legs seem to get real hard and great amount of pain.
All right.
It comes and goes.
All right.
So there are 2 grafts within my heart that have been changed, or 2 grafts added. And at one time they were 35 and 40% blocked. So I didn't know if it had increased or not. However, it's no problem. I can go to a cardiologist here.
We would recommend for you the monoatomic to be ingested in what you would call a more natural form, in what you call your foodstuff substances, rather than the concentrated form that may sometimes contain other mineral elements that may be causing some of the problems within your body.
Okay.
Revert for a while to the more natural forms.
All right.
The teas and the juices that are high in concentrations of the natural monoatomic iridium and rhodium.
Yeah, for 2 weeks I did, I guess, close to 700 milligrams. Milligrams. Excuse me. And, milligram, wow.
If you have been doing megagrams, it is no wonder and surprising that you have not blown up.
Well, for 1 month, I took 1 every day for a week. Then I took 2 a day for 2 weeks, and then I took 1 a day for the week after that. And since then, one cap at a time.
Back to the natural form.
Okay. Okay. And
more juice of carrot and such.
Grape juice.
Yes, though not so much of that, for what you would call the sugar content.
Okay. All right.
More your vegetable than fruit mixture in this case would be of better benefit and more naturally assimilated by your system at this time as we scan you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We thank you.
Good evening.
And to you, good day.
I'm been trying to think how I need to phrase my question, and it's not clear yet, but I'll try.
That's probably because it is very difficult to try to think.
try to think. That's true. That's my problem. I haven't been here to think. And that is what my question is in regard to is that we took a journey to the Yucatan, a spiritual journey. And
Yucatan, all right, understood.
while we were there, I do feel like we had made contact with someone else.
Yes, and so?
And so since I've been back, it's like I have not been back.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't know where I am when I
Yes.
look around.
Yes.
Is it possible to be somewhere else at the same time?
You
as well?
are, as we have already said, many places at once. What you're actually asking is it possible to be aware of that? Yes, it is. And it can be quite disorienting for your species because you're not used to experiencing yourself as being generally in more than one place at one time, which it is possible for you to do, and which is now one of the symptomologies of the expansion of your consciousness. I do not mean to be abrupt, but get used to it.
Thank you.
The idea is that as soon as you allow it to be all right, you will start exploring it in a way that will allow you to adapt and acclimate to the ability to recognize your existence on multiplanar reality simultaneously. And that will aid, in a sense, you in increasing your sensitivity to receive information from many different sources of yourself. And apply that in whatever reality you choose to focus on at any particular moment. It is simply, again, natural, and as you say, par for the course, as you get in touch with different aspects of yourself that you have been out of touch with.
So it's not like more of my energy's been drawn away from this life.
No.
It's just that it's scattered more.
In fact, what's actually happening to you is that not even being scattered, it is that more energy is being drawn into your life, but you don't know how to organize it yet.
Ah,
You understand?
yeah. Wow.
Not drawn away, drawn into. When you open up in more allowance and trust it in a more creative and imaginative fashion, rather than attempting to stuff it into the analytical box of your mental processes as you are used to using them, you will find that your brain will naturally learn how to organize it in a more beneficial way. And it will, as you say, smooth out, in effect. All right?
Thank you.
Is there some creative endeavor, some creative expression that you could be doing artistically that you are not doing?
Of course.
Such as?
Painting,
Well,
drawing,
yes.
weaving.
These things are things you want to do that you are not doing? As much as you want to, or in the way that you want to?
I guess I haven't really thought about them for a while. I mean, they are things I can do. I just...
Are they things you want to do? Are they things you would be joyful to do?
Well, right now I'm taking classes on learning more about the electromagnetic body and how to use the energy that we are.
Are you saying that you wish to function as a healer?
Yes.
All right.
So
When will you
that's where
begin?
I am.
All right.
I'm already doing it.
All right. And?
And I love it.
All right. Then you are also recognizing that what you're doing is tapping into more of yourself to bring more of yourself through for whatever it is you decide is important for you.
Yes.
All right. Well, you will get used to it.
Okay.
It's stretching you.
Yes, it is.
It may feel strange for a while, but that's the nature of being stretched.
So it's not just that I just don't want to be here anymore.
No, no, no. Believe me, these things are not mysterious. And if it was true that you didn't need to be where you are, you wouldn't be there.
Understood.
If any of you think your life is over, that you've done it all you have to do is lay down, take a breath, close your eyes, say, I'm done, count to 3. If you can open your eyes after the count of 3, you're not done. Because believe me, if it's your time to go, nothing will stop you from going.
And I don't really want to go. It's just that I've been feeling scattered.
Yes.
And
But
so
that's
it was
because
like,
of
am I
the
not-
spin, the interpretation that you are putting on what
Right.
you're experiencing. It is only being experienced as a scattering because you are not used to thinking of yourself so holistically. You are applying the typical physiological segregation or compartmentalization model upon the recognition that you are bigger than you thought. So you feel more scattered because you're looking at the bigness as a series of small components all over the place, instead of looking at the bigness as one big you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Greetings, Bashar.
And you, good day.
Wonderful to be here with you tonight.
We thank you for being down there.
Thank you. I see relationships changing very much on the planet right now, and I was wondering how you saw them evolving. Would the institution of marriage still be intact in the future?
It will depend upon whether or not the individuals would receive joy from that particular exercise or ritual. That's all. The idea is that everything on your planet is becoming deinstitutionalized and allowed to be individualized and self-empowered. So if individuals find that they would enjoy going through that particular dance, then by all means it is just as valid as anything else. If they don't, they won't, and that will also be just as valid as anything else. The important thing is the love there? And that's the only question that eventually will be important to your society. Is this being done in love? Yes or no? Does that help you?
Yes, it does. I see myself possibly guiding people in this area.
Oh, all right. Do you understand that the definition of a relationship is simply that individuals act as mirrors for each other to allow each other in the relationship, or each others, to learn whatever it is they need to learn about themselves in order to become more of who they are, to support all the others to become more of who they are. That is the purpose of reflectivity in relationship. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Does this help you?
Most definitely.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes, and?
I would like to also possibly get in tune with the fact of would I be working with relationships, say in Canada, with a friend that I have met by the name of John in that area?
Well, is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Well, then go do it.
All right.
Why are you asking me? If it is representative of your highest joy, as best as you can imagine it at present, take whatever action is necessary or capable for you to take in that direction without paying attention. Are you paying attention?
Yes.
Without the expectation that your particular image must come to fruition exactly as you see it.
Right.
Have the intention, have the vision, use it as a guide, act on it to the best of your ability if it is representative of your highest excitement. If it's not, don't. But if it is, do the best you can to take some action in that direction without the expectation that it will come to any particular conclusion just because it excites you. Because it may not manifest the way you envision it. It may manifest far more expansively than you're capable of imagining at present. So don't insist that it must be this when it could be this.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
And to you, good day.
About 2.5 years ago, I suffered a terrible injury to my left side.
Oh, all right.
6th or 7th rib.
6th or 7th rib.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And since that time, I've had a lot of doctors try to treat me, and they can't seem to find out what's the matter. And recently, about a year ago, a doctor said that the ribs had been detached from my left side.
All right.
And he's been working on me for quite a while, and there's just no healing.
Oh, all right.
And
what are you experiencing physiologically?
A feeling of knives through my neck down to my lower back and to my left side under the shoulder blade and in my arms. But it goes on and off. Sometimes it's so intense I can't even stand up. So I'm wondering if it's more of a blockage of a fear that I might have, or...
No. There is structural misalignment and neurological impingement. One moment. One moment. One moment. Does it hurt when you breathe?
Yes.
One moment. Do not worry, I will not tell you to stop breathing. One moment. What other methodologies have you already explored that you thought might be of assistance to you other than what you would call your typical medical route?
Chiropractic.
And?
Herbology.
And?
Homeopathy.
And?
Iridology.
And?
Eating better.
Have any of these produced any result for any length of time at all?
No.
One moment. Have you at any time noticed that you might do something and it does not give you pain when you expected that it would?
Goes on and off. Sometimes I can, being an acrobat for many years, I could perform fine in aerobics and such, and it doesn't bother me. And then other times I could be sitting and within 15 minutes I can't get up. So it's very irregular, and I've tried 3 years almost to try to find what is causing it, and I can't seem to do that.
One moment. Have you immersed yourself in what you would recognize as hot mineral solutions?
Yes, I have.
Of what content?
Salts, natural salts.
For how long?
20 minutes a night for 3 to 4 weeks at a time.
Did you receive any benefit from that?
A little bit.
Define a little bit.
It'll last for a while, and
a while being?
A month or two.
And then?
It'll go back, but it goes to different parts of my back, and with my neck, to my lower back, to my left side, my left shoulder. So
one moment. Was the chiropractic in any way, shape, or form assistive to you?
Yes.
Then we would recommend a combination. Continue with the immersement in the hot mineral solutions in combination with delicate chiropractic work. Continue this for no less than 3 of your months. No less than. Do not stop just because you think it feels better. Do you understand?
Yes.
Do not stop. Continue in combination those ideas for at least 3 of your months. Then see what happens. All right?
Yes.
One moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. Do you sing?
No.
Have you ever?
A little bit.
When?
5 years ago.
Why?
Because I had the desire.
When did you stop and why?
About 4 years ago.
Yes.
Well, probably because my children have been no less than challenging.
No less than challenging.
Yeah. And then to Las Vegas, and I guess I got sidetracked.
Sidetracked. Sidetracked. Sidetracked.
Distracted.
On your side. I would recommend that as you go through your immersement in hot salt solutions and your gentle chiropractic, over the course of your next 3 months, and do not stop after that, you begin to experiment and play and explore with vibrational humming and toning, and start to sing again. Do you follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The vibration, just to add what you call a footnote, the vibration will be far more healing than you think, from the inside out. Proceed.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day.
I would like to ask you, when I was a little girl,
Yes.
I saw something in looking at me through my bedroom window
Yes.
that scared me pretty good,
Yes.
and I was wondering if you could tell me what it was,
Well, you already know.
and if it might have been connected with my husband.
In what way connected?
I'm not sure. We're not sure.
Do you mean, is he having similar experiences? Is that what you are asking?
No, they're not similar experiences. Just
Connected in what way, then, do you mean?
when I told him about it, he said he had a feeling of deja vu.
Yes. What makes you think then they are not similar experiences?
Because he said his experience was different.
How different?
His is more memory of a place, not seeing something in his window.
But I am not talking about just that specific component of the experience. I am talking about an overall interactive experience. He is remembering one aspect, you are remembering another. It is, however, a similar experience. You understand? You're having interaction with that species. And you are, to some degree, both involved. Yes, his experience of it is perceived to be different than yours, but it is still the same overall experience, the same overall involvement, even though you are each fulfilling different aspects of the agenda between your species and that species. Do you understand this?
What species would that be?
Your world euphemistically refers to them as the Greys. Do you understand this?
No.
Are you familiar with the literature that exists upon your planet that refers to the phenomenology that you call the abduction experience?
Yes.
Then, why did you say no? Did you not simply understand what we were communicating?
No. Are you saying that we may have had experiences with the Grey?
No, I am not saying that you may have had. I am saying that you have had.
Okay.
And you are beginning to get to the point where you are both capable of remembering more of those experiences. It is starting to leak from your unconscious mind into your conscious personality construct, since it has been suppressed. Not necessarily by you, but by them.
Okay, thank you.
Does this help you?
Yeah, I think.
All right. Do not be afraid. Even though you may remember times that may have been fearful in the interaction, do not be afraid to explore it, for it will only give you more ability to act as more of yourself on an equal footing, to a point where when you integrate this experience sufficiently, you will recognize your own agenda in it and how it is serving you. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Pleasant dreams.
Okay.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
After coming out of one of my dreams,
Yes.
the only phrase I remember is something about golden blocks.
Golden blocks.
Right.
Yes.
I wonder if you could...
You are sure it was not Goldilocks?
No, positive.
All right. Just checking.
I know.
And so?
And so, I was just wondering if you could give me some insight into that. I don't know.
As we scan your vibrational tapestry, it would appear to be a definitive memory of a time where you are connected to the concept of either ancient Atlantean or Egyptian incarnations. It may be a strong symbol that is allowing you to know you may be drawing heavily upon your connection for a variety of reasons to those incarnational experiences. And what that idea represents to you. For gold represents longevity, self-empowerment, clear insight, and abundance. And you are, in that sense, drawing upon that energy to weave that into the tapestry of your present incarnation. You follow?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
Is that sufficient?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
And a you good day.
Well, for a long time I've been interested in past lives.
Yes.
And I'd like to know if do you think can you tell me of some of my past lives, or would there be any significance to this one of any past lives?
Again, remember, all things exist simultaneously, and the concept of them being past lives is just a euphemistic statement in your language. You follow?
Right.
Everything is accessible now on an alternate track or frequency, or bandwidth, if you wish to understand it that way. One moment. One moment. One moment. All and each and every one of you make certain connections that are with other lifetimes, that are germane, as you say, for what it is you have chosen to be in your quote-unquote present incarnation. And of course you're doing this simultaneously from the perspective of the other lifetime as well. Do you understand that? So in other words, the experiences you are having in this life are also cross-connecting and cross-bleeding through to other lives, so they can utilize, that you can utilize experiences you are having here, and you are cross-connecting and allowing to bleed through experiences that other yous are having in other lives, so you can put those experiences to use here. You don't always necessarily recognize some of the inspirations or ideas that come to you as actually being experiences that you are having in other lives, because they translate into a way that you can use them in your present incarnation, and so again do not recognize them for where they come from. But this cross-pollination and communication is going on all the time. If you allow yourself to begin to be aware of that fact, you can heighten your sensitivity to what major connections you are making that are germane for the present life. One moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. One moment. There is, as we scan, again, the threads of your tapestry, several that immediately stand out, that seem to have some degree of affectation upon your present incorporation. One would be considered a strong Celtic incarnation. Do you understand this term?
No.
Celtic, or as you say sometimes in your language, Celtic, in what you call ancient Britain, with the standing stones and the circles of stone, and the concept you call Druidic knowledge. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand now.
Thank you. One moment. One moment. In fact, you have actually stood upon the floor of the main hall of that edifice that you know historically as Camelot. Do you understand?
Yes.
One moment. In that sense, it was as what you would call a type of page. Do you follow?
Yes.
A page. A ward of the court. Do you understand this terminology?
No.
Ward of the court. Part of the serving staff, considered part of the family of the court. Does that make sense to you? Under their care. Under the care of the ruling body, taken in as a ward of the court.
I don't understand by ward of the court.
Taken care of. Taken in from your lifestyle and allowed to benefit from living in the castle.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense to you?
In a way it does.
Taken off the street and given a decent home. Is that a better translation?
Yeah.
Taken under their wing. You understand?
Yes.
All right. One moment. One moment. One moment. You had a, how do you say, fancy for one of the bread-baking maidens. It was a strong relationship. What you call intermittently passionate in that sense, for you were close enough in stature and standing that it was allowed for you to mingle, even though you kept it somewhat clandestine. For you knew the ways of the courts and the ways of political gossip, and did not want to be an item of gossip among the travelers to and fro. One moment. One moment. One moment. This is one of the strongest vibrations for some reason that we are picking up upon. It is possible that we could push to scan for others, but do you feel that this has served sufficiently at this time, or is there some other specific avenue?
No, I recognize some of what you're telling me, so some of that happens now, but it's not really helping to I'd like to understand a little bit more.
About what?
Well, more than for like what girls I've been looking at in the past or something, something more, what do you call it?
But take it for the understanding that can come with it, in the idea of how important it was for you, that relationship, what it meant, what it symbolized, that you had been capable of changing the idea of what at first seemed to be a life going nowhere for something where you had hearth and home and a full belly, the smell of warm bread, the safety of the castle walls, the friends you had there in the monastery, in the abbey, the things you learned, the things you were taught. You were taught to read, and you reveled in the knowledge of the books. All of this is what this life represents, that you can reach the inner sanctum, the hearth and home, where all things are available to you on levels of what might be considered by some to be simple abundance, yet abundance nevertheless. Doesn't mean you cannot expand beyond that, but you can use it as a seed to build upon, because it was a very, very stable environment for you in terms of your ability to begin to trust that you could go beyond what you originally thought you were born into. Does that make sense now?
Yes, it does.
That's why there is such a strong cord and a connection to that life, because it gives you the ability to feel that you are always capable of receiving more than you ever imagined possible. You are, in fact, in that sense, then, to use the ancient word, and the way you used it in that life quite often, blessed. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are blessed, as you would say in your present terminology. Blessed then, blessed now. You follow this?
Yes.
Does this help illuminate the reason for the connection to this life?
Yes, it does, because some of those similar things happen right now also in this life.
All right.
I recognize a lot of it.
Yes.
But also, recently I've been having some strange dreams also.
Strange dreams?
Yeah.
Do illuminate for us.
Okay, one of them was, I think I was walking through some city or where some path where there were short buildings on the sides, and it was dark. It was light. It was daytime this time, and I was doing something with all these big palm trees, and I was doing something going around. But then I snapped right into something where I saw this guy doing something I can't remember, and he looked straight at me, and he said something. I can't remember what he said, but it had something to do with I should try to find out what he said. I don't know what it was, but
it had something to do with what?
I can't remember. But the thing was, what
was
weird
feel
was
it had to do with? What do you feel?
He looked at me when he looked strange right at me, and then I realized that I was there in my dream.
Yeah.
That I was somewhere else. But then I came out of that dream.
One moment. And stop. Go back. Go back. Become lucid now. Do you see him looking at you?
Yes.
Describe him.
He's tall. He's a white guy. He's an older guy. He looks like he has maybe some gray hair.
Yes.
And I think he's doing something on a table. I can't remember. I kind of picture.
Do you see the table?
And
Do you see the table?
I think so. Looks like maybe one that stands about 3 feet high, maybe, and brown, maybe wooden or something. I'm not really sure. I can remember.
What is on the tabletop? Look at it. What is on the tabletop? Where are his hands?
They're on the table.
Holding what?
He's holding something, maybe
what?
some books or something, or
yes.
some papers and books.
All right. And what is he looking at you for? Is he looking at you with some degree of expectation?
Well, it was something that he looked right at me and said something. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember.
Stop.
What he said.
Stop. Slow down. Back up. Once again. Pay attention to what we are asking you. Do not race ahead. Do not try to remember. Relax. Relax. Take a deep breath. Right now. Look at him looking at you. What is the expression on his face?
It looks like he's saying something directed towards me. He's not happy or he's not mad, but it's just a straight face, like, listen to me right now and remember. Right. But when I woke up, I
don't race ahead. Stay with what we ask you. We did not ask you what you remembered or didn't remember when you woke up, did we?
No.
Thank you. Do you see his eyes?
No, I didn't see his eyes.
You saw his face, but you didn't see his eyes?
No, I didn't look directly into his eyes.
Why not?
It was because when it happened, I just had a strange feeling that I was just there and it was just happening. And
why didn't you look into his eyes?
I guess it's not a thing that happens every day. I'm not used to that kind of thing. I'm not going to know to look right into his eyes at that time.
When you look at someone's face, you generally see the eyes. Why do you not remember seeing the eyes?
Well, this ring was about a month ago. I should have wrote it down.
No. Is that what I asked?
No.
Thank you. Did he have gray hair?
That's what it seemed like,
Did he have a beard?
Maybe a small one.
A small one. Did he have a mustache?
No, it was like, it was kind of connected with the beard.
Did he have a nose?
Yes.
Did he have eyebrows?
Yes.
Were they dark? Were they light?
Maybe a little bit dark with a bit of gray. It's like an old man.
Yes. Did you see his eyes?
Maybe I did.
Maybe you did. All right. Relax. This night of your time, when you go to sleep, breathe deeply. No expectations. Don't be so hard on yourself. No judgment. Just relax. And let yourself just remember him. Don't try to remember the dream. Just let yourself be willing, be open to receiving what you need to receive. Then, when you wake up, just stay there and be open to remembering what you remember. And if you remember, take your time and just look at it and extract from it every detail you can. But don't try to. Don't be desperate to. Just look. All right? Okay. There is information from that being and aspect of yourself for you to remember, to get in touch with. It is connected, as we said, to the strong cord of the Celtic Druids and the whole concept of magic, so to speak. Just relax into it. You will know what you need to know if you feel it, instead of trying too hard. And by all means, feel equal to it. If you weren't equal to it and worthy to look straight at it, you wouldn't be having the dream. All right?
I understand.
Thank you.
May I ask another one which is even more important?
Oh, do you save the most important for last?
But I didn't expect you to go this far. Okay, I was having this...
Be brief.
This other dream where first I saw this light, and then next thing I know, it looked like I was in an operating room, and the surgeon was looking at something. He was saying something to somebody, and then all of a sudden I felt as if it didn't matter anymore. I felt like if I'd been there before, like I had deja vu in my dream.
Yes.
But then next thing I just talked, and I saw this tunnel with that at the end of it, and then
Yes.
it went black, and I woke up.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Did you see the surgeon's eyes?
The surgeon. He was above me, and he was looking at somebody else. All I saw was the blue thing on his head and his mask. I saw part of his eyes.
Yes. How did they appear?
Kind of, from looking up at it, it looked like they were, maybe a little bit big.
Yes. All right. Relax. In that case, you are remembering a screen memory. The being doesn't look like you think it looks at all. Ask for more consciousness when you go to sleep at night, and eventually it will be given to you in those experiences. All right?
Okay.
Just ask for it. Eventually it will be given to you, and you will remember what you're actually seeing. All right?
Great.
Pleasant dreams to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And you, good day.
How are you?
Perfect, and you?
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
For about 7 weeks, and I hated it.
Oh, all right. Are you saying you did not prefer the vibration?
I didn't like it at all.
You are saying you didn't prefer it.
I didn't prefer
Oh, well, thank you.
Is that better?
It is not better. It is perhaps less judgmental.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not prefer it. And I've
Thank
been here 3 weeks.
In your present area, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
In my present area, 3
Yes.
weeks. And I've just,
Yes.
I guess I expected things to go a little smoother than they have.
Well, that's what you get.
What do you mean? That's
For
what I did?
expecting.
And I've had a really hard time.
Oh. Everyone all together. Oh.
Stop. You're embarrassing me.
I cannot embarrass you.
Oh, okay.
You can choose to be embarrassed, however. So then,
Okay.
are you having fun now?
Yeah, I'm having fun now.
Oh, all right. And?
And so I just want, well, things are coming together in my office right now.
Coming together in your office.
Yeah, I
all
have an
right.
office here.
Yes, all right. Understandable.
Yeah.
So you feel at this time that you are in an energy you prefer, and that it is, in that sense, allowing the synchronicity of your life to be reflective, that you are moving in directions of your joy.
Yeah.
Everything is beginning, as you say, to come together,
Yeah.
to appear to work more smoothly for you, yes?
Yeah.
All right, so then,
I'm still worried.
worried.
Yeah.
Worried. You have an office, yes?
Yes.
Do you have any charts upon those walls of your office?
Chart.
Yes. To keep track of progress in your business and so forth and such? Or an agenda or a calendar or a schedule of things to do that must be done? Do you have anything like that at all?
Well, I have a small piece of paper what I do every single day.
Oh, all right. When you have that small piece of paper, are you saying that you write things upon it that are part of your agenda for that day? Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, for the whole week.
For the whole week? Oh, all right, thank you. Does spend some time being worried appear anywhere on that agenda?
No.
Then why are you doing something that's not on that piece of paper?
That's a good question.
Well, thank you. Now, if you want to spend some time being worried, I would suggest you make some time for it. Put it in your agenda. And then, when you do that, you will know you have done it according to your agenda, and when you're done worrying, you can get on with all the other things in your agenda and not spend any more time worrying. Because you will have already allotted the time for worry on your agenda, and it will be done. How's that for a suggestion?
That's a good suggestion. So how do I stop worrying?
I just told you. Make it part of your agenda.
Okay.
In other words, to put it simply, one of the best ways to work with something you want to change is to allow it to be all right that it's there, first of all.
Okay.
So, in other words, don't judge your worry, which only, in your terms, makes it worse. You follow me?
I follow you.
Make it a part of the game.
Okay.
Oh, all right. I own it. I acknowledge it. I'm worried. Big deal. So what, as you say in your language? I will use it as a part of my agenda. If I'm going to choose to do it, I might as well acknowledge it fully as a part of who I am right now. So put it on your agenda of things to do for that day, each day if you want to. Now, if all of a sudden, after it's on your agenda and you have spent, let's say 10 minutes worrying at 3 p.m., and then you decide that the next day, well, you know, I'm going to be very busy that day and I just don't have time to worry. Maybe I'll put it on the day after. Bit by bit, as it becomes no more important or less important than anything else you do, it will take its proper place in your agenda, and eventually you probably won't have time.
Okay.
You are making it important than anything, and that's why it keeps taking up more time than you want it to, because you're putting, as you say, such importance into the idea of being worried. By the way, what are you worried about?
What am I worried about?
Yes. Name some things you are worried about.
What? Some things I'm worried about?
Yes. Well, obviously you've already listed that you're worried about being worried.
I got the question. I'm just worried because it's my own business, and I'm worried about...
Worried about what?
Being successful.
You are successful.
Okay.
You're successful right now.
I'm at my business being successful, I guess.
You are successful right now.
Okay.
Your business is an extension of how successful you know you are right now, not the other way around.
Okay.
You understand? As you say in your language, cart, horse. Horse, cart. You are successful. Therefore, everything you do is a successful thing, whether it meets an expectation or not. You follow?
Got it.
Everything is an extension of what you choose to be now. Do not make what you think of yourself conditional upon what's going on as a side effect. Business is just a side effect of how you choose to express your creative joy. If you choose to express your creative joy, you are successful. Let the business, as one form of your expression of creative joy, reflect the certainty of your success. By knowing you're already successful just for having chosen to express your creative joy. Then everything will smooth out and fall into perfect place and timing. Do you understand this concept?
Not really.
Not really. Do you understand that just because you are willing to live your joy, that means you are already successful?
Yeah.
Do you understand that what you call business, then, is just one more artistic way you have of expressing the success you already are?
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Okay.
Do you think you can work with that? Do you think that that's a powerful enough tool or recognition that you can allow yourself to know that?
Yes.
Also, remember, all of you, remember. Just making sure you're awake. None of you lack trust. None of you lack motivation. It's just an issue of where is your trust? What are you motivated to do? Something you prefer or something you don't? If you find yourself motivated to behave in a way you don't prefer, it isn't because you lack motivation to behave some other way. It's because you are motivated to behave the way you're behaving. Find out why. Find out what you have to believe about yourself or believe about life in order to be motivated to focus on worry rather than being motivated to focus on the success you already are. That's the key. Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you.
For a successful communication.
Hello again, Bashar.
And good day.
About 41 years ago, I was in an automobile accident and broke my neck and back and a few other odd assorted bones in my body.
Odd assorted. All right.
Yes. They're not the ones that bother me. It's the neck and the back. I have compressed vertebrae and squashed discs. It's become no longer acceptable in my life. I am now going to work on rebuilding my spine, building a new one. And I wondered if you could give me any suggestions or assistance.
Within many individuals, you will find that the utilization of the clarification of the cellular system through the ingestion of purified water and the idea of pampering, stretching, massaging, in that sense, will help set a foundation, just a foundation, that will put you in the proper meditative state. Breathing, water, massage will put you in the proper state to recognize what are the things you need to do to allow yourself to stretch back out over time. Also, the ingestion of small amounts of the substance, if you are not already doing so, that is known as kombucha, you follow?
The kombucha tea?
Yes. Small amounts.
Yeah, because I'm allergic to it.
Small.
Okay.
And you will find that there are now new techniques of what you would call acupressure or acupuncture stimulation to alleviate the concept of allergic reactions. You understand?
Yes.
Avail yourself of that if necessary, so that there can be the infusion in your body of the things that will help strengthen. Now, again, small amount of that is all that is necessary, but it must be there as a catalyst. All we are talking about in your terminology is what you would call, do you understand what you have as a shot glass?
Yes.
Shot glass.
Yes.
One a day. That's it. One. One shot glass a day of that tea. Just one. When you have allowed yourself to adjust for the allergic reaction, all right?
Okay.
Secondarily, one moment, and again, one moment. What is your dietary intake at this time, in general?
I don't understand the question.
How is your diet? What do you eat?
Lousy. It's lousy.
Meaning?
I don't have any appetite, so I don't eat too well. I don't eat breakfast.
It is not necessarily essential that you do, but when you eat, what do you eat?
Mostly...
What do I eat?
Vegetables and fruit and carbohydrates. I eat very little meat.
Yes.
Cheese and eggs.
No cheese.
No cheese?
No.
Okay. No cheese.
Do you enjoy green beans or lima beans?
Oh, no, not lima beans.
Oh,
green beans are okay.
Why not lima?
Just don't like them particularly. I will eat them if I have to, I guess.
One moment, we will scan for you. One moment. Are you taking anything that contains what you call the mineral chromium?
Not that I know of, no.
Do it.
Chromium.
Are you paying attention?
Yes.
Do it.
Okay.
Chromium will help build some of the things that are degenerating in your physiological structure system.
Okay.
Chromium. One moment. All right. Substitution. Instead of the kombucha. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Shot glass, again, one a day. Shot glass, only one a day. What you call Burgundy wine.
Okay.
Is that acceptable?
Yes, that's... Yes.
All right. One moment. Again, cessation of dairy products. One moment. But ingestion, yes. Chromium. One moment. Do you understand the substance on your planet you refer to as hot of palm?
Yes.
Ingest.
Okay.
Do you understand the substance on your planet you refer to as banana?
Banana?
Yes.
Yes.
Ingest.
I do.
All right. One moment. Do you understand substance on your planet you name carrot?
Oh, yes.
Do you ingest?
Some. I
Some meaning what?
I drink more of the juice than I eat the carrot.
2 glasses a day.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
One moment. One moment. Do you understand what you call caraway seed?
Yes.
Ingest.
Okay.
One moment. Do you understand what you call poppy seed?
Yes.
Ingest.
Okay.
One moment. One moment. Do you understand what you call aloe?
Yes.
Apply along the entire spine with hot compress.
Okay.
2 to 3 times a day. 10 minutes of your time to 15 minutes of your time each time.
All right.
Do you understand? Along again, as we have said, with the ingestion of large amounts of clear water to flush the system of toxins, so reparation can occur more easily. And checking. One moment. Final scan. One moment. You like broccoli?
Yes.
Eat.
Okay.
Raw.
Okay.
Do not cook. Raw.
In what quantities?
Moderate. Once a day. Small amounts. All right?
Okay.
Meditate.
I do.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Greetings, Bashar.
And you, good day. There are but a few moments remaining for this link. Proceed.
Okay. I have a few situations in my life that I would like a little bit of clarification on.
Define.
I have accepted the fact that I am a healer after a long time of not accepting it. But at this time and for a long time in my being, I've had the challenge,
Of.
a physical challenge,
Of.
around the gallbladder.
Gallbladder.
Well,
Yes.
I think that's what the doctors want to call it.
All right, and?
Gall duct. The thing that I'm questioning is, don't I have to heal myself to be able to heal others
You will heal yourself as you heal others.
as I heal others.
Yes, and remember that everyone heals themselves. You are providing for them a vibration that represents their ability to go back into 0 point, natural point, rest point, in which no dis-ease can exist. As you undertake to create and generate this vibration for them through your unconditional love, the unconditional love you require to give to yourself will be reflected back to you.
Okay. Another thing, as of late, I opened up to the universe, so I have been bombarded with thoughts, visions, feelings.
Yes, of what?
Well, the one that threw me today.
Through you?
Well, it kind of took me back a couple of steps.
Took you back, through you. All right. You have been being jostled about.
Yes, I was jostled about really well. I had a very terrible sense of some type of disaster. I saw the train, the Amtrak wreck. I saw the earthquake in Mexico. But this one I'm picking up, and I don't know whether it's... I thought maybe something was happening today.
And so, if it is, so what?
I have this... I'm having a hard time dealing with this massive death sense that I'm picking up.
Why are you having a hard time dealing with it? Are you not willing to allow individuals to choose their own modality of transference?
I know that we are all taking our paths and learning our lessons.
Then what are you afraid of?
It just bothered me for some odd reason.
It is not some odd reason. It is your own belief system structure.
Okay.
What are you afraid of? Are you afraid you can't help everyone?
I have a feeling that maybe some people I know might be involved and I can't do anything about it.
If it is true that you cannot do anything about it at all, do you think it might be possible that that might mean that they don't want you to?
Yeah, right.
Well then,
Okay.
why would you want to if they don't want you to? Do always the best you can. By all means, if you receive information and feel so inclined to share it with individuals just as a possibility, then do so. But if you do it out of desperation, all you're doing is adding your own negative energy to what you already perceive to be a negative scenario. You follow?
Yes.
You are compounding it. Receive it as neutral information, as a probable or possible choice. You don't even necessarily have to assume. It must manifest. Share the information with whomever you feel it is important to share it, but not out of desperation. Just share it so that they are given the best benefit they can be given to make the choices they want to make. If you have the capability of sharing it, if you do not, then that is a sign to you that you do not need to. But that it is perhaps simply helping you get in touch with your increasing sensitivity to the patterns of flow that are going on in the collective consciousness for the variety of ways different individuals and groups in your society with their belief systems are assuming that they must go through the transformations that are happening on your planet, because yes, transformations are happening. And in some areas they will play themselves out, as you say, physiologically, catastrophically, geographically, geologically, sociologically, economically, religiously, politically, a variety of ways. And sometimes what might be at first perceived to be one way may transform into another way. The idea is just mostly fundamentally that a change and a shift is occurring that represents a strong threshold opportunity for large sections of the mass consciousness to get in touch with its own issues and to integrate them or cross into other realities as they see fit. You are simply becoming increasingly sensitive to those patterns. Learn to use that information in a beneficial and healing way by staying centered with it, rather than adding your own belief system structure, energy interpretation to it. You follow me?
Yes. Well, what can I do specifically to
keep this coming at me where it won't affect me negatively?
I just told you.
Well,
you are only feeling affected by it in a negative sense because you have a negative assignment of meaning to what you're perceiving. You have been taught to automatically assign negative consequences to what is essentially simply a neutral vision. You follow? You have to get in touch with what definitions you have, why you would be motivated to assign negative meaning and terminology to what is essentially nothing more than a neutral scenario with no built-in meaning. Remember, you only feel, all of you, the way you feel because of something you already believe to be true. If you don't have any particular belief about something one way or another, if it is simply a neutral prop to you, a neutral scenario, then you don't have a response or a reactive emotional feeling. That's all. So, you can see all these things. You will not feel negatively impacted by the vision if you train yourself to have a moment of pause and not automatically assign a negative meaning to what you see.
Yeah.
You follow?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Anything else?
Am I supposed to use these abilities that have been coming at me faster and faster to help other beings here?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Do you believe me?
Yes.
Why? Why do you believe me?
No, that was a lie, too.
Yes,
No.
wasn't it? And you recognized it as such, didn't you? You have your answer then, don't you?
Okay.
Help yourself first by being more fully who you are, and that means live your joy to the best of your ability and know that everything that happens in your life happens for a positive reason, even if you don't intellectually understand how that could immediately be so. When you give it that general positive spin, you will understand that whatever it is you choose to do is what will be of help to others, because you are being your natural self, and only by being your natural self are you capable of helping others learn to be their natural selves as well. Now, does that make sense?
Yes.
Then have a good time.
Good night.
At this timing, we once again extend to each and every one of you, individually and all of you collectively, our deep appreciation at being allowed to establish this link in this way at this time. Remember, we are only reflecting what each and every one of you already knows on some level of your being. Allow yourself, be willing to know that you know it. Take action in the direction of the things that are the highest excitement for you, and your life will automatically unfold, and the opportunities will be automatically presented to you. That will be the obvious path to take. Your highest excitement is the unerring compass needle pointing directly at your true self. Follow it. Act on it. Trust it. It will always support you, just as everything has always supported you. Even when you chose to not believe in yourself, you are supported in that belief. You will just as easily be supported when you choose to believe in yourself. We believe, as we have said many times, in all of you, totally, utterly, absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt. We know what you are capable of doing, and we know the kind of planet you are capable of creating miraculously, instantaneously, and effortlessly. But it doesn't matter that we believe it. It only matters that you do, because it's your world. Thank you for allowing us a glimpse. Good day.